that we need to do. So hey, welcome everybody. It is April the 5th, and it is a Tuesday night, right? It's Tuesday night, Michael? Yeah, Tuesday night. And this is what we do every Tuesday night. We kind of do a getting started training. We kind of take you through, if you're brand new, we're going to kind of take you through the process of everything. And then if you've got any topics, if anybody has any topics that they'd like to discuss, go ahead and put them in the chat for us. Or if you've got any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat for us, and we'll do our best to get to the questions. We'll do our best to get to any of the topics that anyone might have. Now, obviously, there's hotspots that are going out the door. People are starting to, have them show up on their door, which is always a good thing. And tomorrow night, we're going to have a special hotspot training about installation and about antennas and why you need an antenna and how to hook up an antenna and all of those things. And so we've got Mike Eppolito, who has installed lots and lots and lots and lots of antennas and hotspots, and is actually down in Vero Beach right now. He's been helping the team down there, getting things provisioned and getting them shipped out to everybody. And that's the other thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, there's a lot of people that just don't understand the whole concept, right? I mean, the whole, everything that IHub.global does, and, relative to a hotspot. So we want to explain that to you and kind of connect all of those dots together. And maybe it'll make it, because I had somebody call me today, and he'd been on a lot of the webinars, been on watching a lot of the videos, and he said, you know what, I still can't wrap my head around what it is you guys do. And I said, well, be with us tonight. We'll go over it in depth, so that there's no question about what it is IHub.global does, because what we did, and Michael can explain it better than I can, we just created a better mousetrap, right? We saw, and then we created. And so, in fact, he's just jumping on right now. So he missed my little talk about him. But yeah, we'll get started. So Michael, let's start out with the basics, and then let's go through some of the things in the back office. I mean, because we've added another component. We've added the Helium track, or the iHub travel platform on, and now we not only get paid in Helium, which we have to have an HNT wallet, and Michael's going to show you about that. And then we've also added the iHub travel back office, and you have to have a CoinZoom handle, and Michael will show you where that is and how to do all that. And then we'll show you where all the training videos are that explain all of that. But let's get started, buddy. What do you say?
All right, happy to do that. Before we start going and looking in the back offices and all, let me go ahead and just share that one piece of news that we
yeah, let's do that. You guys want the good news or the bad news first? Okay, so let's give them the good news.
Well, for those of you that have been around for a while and you've been trying to keep your hotspots from having their memory cards get filled up, or worried about getting them unrelayed, and how long it's going to take for them to sync and all that. We've been waiting for quite some time for a transition to occur in the Helium world that has to do with what they call light hotspots. So right now, every single hotspot that's out there has to download on a daily basis the entire blockchain, or at least it downloads the entire blockchain and then it updates it on a daily basis. But there's thousands of hotspots a day that are being added to the system. And so that's a lot of data that those little hotspots need to constantly be updating. And if anything goes awry in that process, then it causes a little bit of a glitch, and it needs to either get a new piece of software called a firmware update, or or you power cycle it and hope that it starts catching back up again. It takes a few days to sync. So that's the way it's been since day one, that every single hotspot has the entire blockchain, almost 700,000 units worth of data, and every single activity that each one of them has done stored on every hotspot, a lot of data. So the thing that they've been working on for a long time now, with what they've called the validators that are up in the cloud to take over some of the activities that were done at the hotspot level. The idea was to get to a certain point where everything goes to what they call light hotspots, meaning the hotspot itself no longer is downloading the blockchain. It's relying on accessing the Helium blockchain through the validators up in the cloud. And when that happens, everything dramatically gets sped up. There's instant syncing. There's no relayed issues.
Wait a second. Did you just say instant syncing?
Yes, because it's already synced in the validator.
I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that. Instead of having to wait for 1, 2, 3 days
or a week or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's a huge thing. And, and no more worrying about memory cards getting filled up and all that. But it's even better than that, because a lot of these activities, and for those of you that really don't quite understand actually what this process is all about that these hotspots do, right now, the way it works is any hotspot anywhere in the world can issue what they call a challenge to another hotspot over the blockchain. So it's not based on the radio frequency, the LoRa stuff. It just sends out. So my hotspot could issue a challenge to Chuck's hotspot, and Chuck's, which basically says, prove the challenge is like prove you exist. And then Chuck's hotspot will respond by sending up a radio beacon that the local hotspots in the area can witness. And that process of him sending up the beacon and being witnessed by other people, as well as them witnessing his, is what creates the Helium blockchain editions. It creates the Helium for people, and that's how they earn money. The other part, the way Helium is produced, is actual data from IoT devices flows through. But right now, it's primarily what they call proof of coverage. So in that process, there's a certain period of time where the challenge happens, Chuck sends out the beacon and the witnesses, and all that needs to get back to the challenger to complete the circle before the Helium's issued. And if it doesn't happen in enough time, it times out and it's essentially lost. So they're guesstimating that some 30% of HNT is becoming invalidated or not paid out because of the sluggishness of the blockchain. So that goes away completely as soon as this process takes place. So we've been kind of waiting, on the edge of our seats, waiting for when's this going to happen. And I was just reading in Discord today on the Helium announcements that that's scheduled to happen, if everything goes well, on the 19th of this month, April 19th. So they're sending out all the software updates to the various manufacturers tomorrow, and then they're going to activate everything on the 19th. So at that point, things are going to get a whole lot easier getting your hotspots up and running for those of you that are just getting them, and way more that are going to be getting them within the next few weeks. That's going to make the process so much easier.
Yeah, we won't have anything to talk about anymore.
Not quite, but that's good news. That's good news. So
it really is good news, guys. So let's just take it. No more relaying, right? No more syncing. So if you've got hotspots that are being relayed for whatever reason, that will go away. So don't fret about having to get that thing, get into your router and opening up ports and doing all of this nonsense. So just leave all of that stuff alone. And if you've got particularly the rack, the older rack or the original rack miners, the little black boxes. Grab one. But I mean, these little guys right here, right? So it's got a little SD card, like a little SIM card right here, and it's 32. What's it? 32 gigs, right, Michael?
Yeah, 32 gigabytes. So
yeah.
So we've been going ahead and ordering the 64 gig micro SD cards to start upgrading them, and we just said, well, I guess we don't need to be so focused on doing that.
I got a whole pile of them over here, that I'll have to return. Ship them back to Amazon with
exactly.
So that's the good news. So hey, in case you guys are wondering if I've been beat up, I have. So I've been doing some stuff outside, and yeah. So anyway, that's what happens when you're on a farm. So yeah, that's all great news. So before we get into all of that, now that we're talking about this technical stuff, let's kind of connect the dots for everybody. Why the IHub model? We've said all along that when we first saw the hotspots, when we first saw Helium, in fact, bring up the Explorer map, Michael, if you would.
Sure.
When we first saw Helium and when we first saw the Explorer map that Michael's about to bring up, and somebody asked where they can find this, it's at the explorer.helium.com. So, and that's the map that's got everything on it, right? All the hotspots, and you can zoom in, and you can, now for those of you that want to see the whole map all at once, you can go to view options up there and scroll down to where it says fit to window, and that whole thing will fit to your window instead of being all over off your screen. When we first started looking, there were less than 7,000, and that was in the fall of 2020. So really not that long ago.
I remember when we were first start looking, I think there was maybe a half a dozen units near where you live.
Yeah. I mean, even in Phoenix, there were hardly anything, right? I mean,
there was maybe 50 units or something like that in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, we had to go looking for hotspots, and we don't have to look very far anymore with 702,000. But so here's what. So here's my little area here, right? Here's my little town. So what we do, what iHub does, Michael and I and Rick got together. We all have a background in network marketing, right? We have always been paid on referrals and referrals and referrals and referrals and other people's referrals and so on and so forth. And when we saw the Helium model, we said, you know what? They only have one thing wrong. And that is somebody could buy a hotspot and they could earn 100% of the helium that hotspot was producing. Well, but if they told their neighbor to get one, they earn nothing off of their neighbor's hotspot or their uncles or their aunts or somebody else in some other part of the country. They earn nothing, right? So we said, well, that's right up our alley, right? We know exactly how to do that. So we got with some very smart people, and we wrote the software that enables us to put a wallet, and here's the fine line, right? When we provision, we've got these thousands of hotspots and tens of thousands, and really over 200,000 here this year. We have to touch each and every one of those, and what I mean by that is that we have to get them online. We have to put our wallet, the IHub Global wallet. We put multiple wallets, but I won't go into that. But we put a wallet on that hotspot, and then we put the installation address on there so that when you get it, it's all validated, right? It's all validated, and it has the installation address that you have given us and verified to us that that's where you want to have it installed. We pay that fee to have all of that done. And so if you, so let me not go down that rabbit hole. So anyway, 100% of all of the helium that all of the IHub Global hotspots produce all come into our wallet, right? So they're all in one pot. And that's how we're able to pay referral commissions. Otherwise, it would be just like what Helium had created. So we collect 100%, and then we pay out X percentage based on if it's the version 2, or like the mass deployment hotspots that are going out right now. We pay out 25% to the host. Oh, Michael, you got that. Okay, cool. Yeah, you kind of want to go over that?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is exactly what you're talking about. So 100% of the HNT comes into the iHub wallet, and then every week, 2 days, I mean, our period goes between midnight Sunday morning and then just before midnight Saturday night. So then the calculations are done, and within a few days we do the distribution. The calculation is based on this breakdown. So if there's 100 helium tokens, or you could say 100%, it's really the same thing.
Yeah.
Then 25% of that 100, or 25 out of 100 tokens, goes to the person hosting the unit. Another 20% is allocated to the referrer of the unit. That's for our deployed model, our leased and or deposit units. Then we've got these 3 coded bonuses: the bronze, silver, and gold code. Only one person gets the code for a particular unit that's generating whatever it is. If it's 100 that the unit generated over some fixed period of time, five tokens would go to who's ever getting the bronze code. 5 tokens goes to the silver, who's getting the silver code. 5 tokens is going to who's ever getting the gold code. And there could be, more than one of those slices going to one individual. It's possible to get all 3 of them from some. If you're working with somebody who's on your gold team, meaning it's the 26th active leg that you've got. Let's say Chuck had sponsored me, and I was his 26th person, and my hotspot over some period of time generated 100 helium tokens. He would get all 3 of those bonuses. He would get the bronze, silver, and gold on that unit, and my pro team and all their pro teams to infinity on that.
So let's stop right there for a second, Michael. And that's why it's so important, guys. I mean, yes, you can have a hotspot yourself if you're in an area where you can have a hotspot. I mean, there's some areas where it's just not worth having, quite frankly. I was looking at one of those areas today, and it was Las Vegas, and it's so overly saturated that there's just nobody making any amount of helium at all. And so, I said, you'd probably be best off to move that hotspot. But the race here is to refer as many people as possible. So you get through your bronze code, you get through your silver code, and you get to your gold code. Then you really start going to work. It's not a time to stop. I mean, once you get to the gold code, because what did Michael just say? you pick up the 5, the 5, and the 5, right? That's that 15%. And that just goes on and on and on and on. So
yeah, that's really the sweet spot, is once you're starting to do that. And of course, you can have an unlimited number of people that you personally enroll in your gold team. You're limited to 5 on the pro, 5 on the bronze, 10 on the bronze, and 10 on the silver. So yeah, and then there's 5% of that 100 that is held to paying out the matching bonuses on people's pro teams in terms of what their pro team people that they have are earning from their coded bonuses. And then the final 35 goes to running the infrastructure of the company, as well as partners and the investors that are helping to capitalize these units that is providing the ability to get everything. So it's a 65% payout of every helium that's generated from a unit. 65% goes out to the field. And it's a very, very rich payout compared to other companies in the home-based business arena, where the average is really more like 40%. We're actually 35 to 40% of real payouts.
Right. Yeah. 35, 40%. 50% is very rich but 65 is knocking the cover off the ball. So, and so we're, one of the things that we just recently did was to, of course, incentivize, right? And that's why we put in the whole travel program. Michael, I know you've got a couple more slides before I go down to that travel. So let's go ahead and go through.
All right. Well, let's just kind of go back to some of the basics for some folks that may be looking at this saying, hey, I'm here to learn how to get started. So let me just grab this real quick. All right. So we're just in a test account right now, but this is what it looks like when you've registered as an affiliate. When you go into your back office, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but some of it is just same thing available in multiple locations, where we tried to make some of the items that are the most frequently accessed really easy to get to, like information on commissions, how to get to your commission back office, training on the comp plan, signing up to CoinZoom training, for instance.
Go to CoinZoom training just for a second, Michael, and just click on that.
Okay. So we've got 4 specific trainings on CoinZoom. One is actually registering your CoinZoom account. One is logging into your CoinZoom account, setting up your 2-factor authentication, which you want to do pretty much for any kind of activity where you've got a cryptocurrency wallet, whether it's on a major exchange or CoinZoom. It's a pretty easy thing to do using like Google Authenticator, I think is what CoinZoom uses. And then a little bit on how to get your commission payout, how to add your CoinZoom HNT wallet into your IHub commission back office. And just a quick visual on that is this is the iHub commission back office. And if you go to my e-wallet, it's in this location that you're going to grab the HNT address. When you look at that video, it'll show you how to grab it from CoinZoom. And then you want to copy and paste it into this location. And I always say this whenever I'm talking about cryptocurrency addresses. It's a long, complicated number. You don't ever want to try and write it down. You want to copy and paste it, but it's a great exercise to always take a look at the first 3 characters and the last 3 characters. So when you copy and paste it, you know if you got the first 3 and the last 3 right, that everything in the middle is good. So that way, when you're doing it, you know you're in good shape. And but that's where you're going to put it. You're going to take that CoinZoom HNT wallet and you're going to put it back there. And And while I'm on this, somebody did ask a question relative to travel, even though we haven't gotten to travel yet, but they wanted to know whether they had to have their CoinZoom wallet in their travel back office before they start talking to people. And the answer is no. Just like it is here in your e-wallet, if you don't have your Helium wallet address in here and you're starting to earn HNT, whether it's from your own unit or from other people's units that you're earning referrals on, it will just accumulate in this wallet balance. You'll see the numbers here grow. If you don't have an address there, we can't pay it out, but you're not going to lose it. As soon as you get an address in there, and then the next weekly run, it'll take whatever in there.
Yeah, let me say something about, there was a lot of questions, as we approach that inevitable day of the two things that will definitely happen in your lifetime, right? You will pay taxes, right? And that's the inevitable day. And people said, hey, how come I'm getting a 1099 from IHub.global and I haven't cashed in any of my Helium? Guess what? You don't have to cash it in to get a 1099. All you have to do is get paid that commission. So once it goes into your wallet, you've been paid. What you do from it, what you do from that point forward is really up to you. The government doesn't care, as long as you got it. Now, if you don't take it, if you just leave it sit there and accumulate, you've not been paid, and so you won't get a 1099. So maybe all this year you don't want income, or you don't want a 1099. That's okay. Just leave it in. just leave it with us, and we won't put it into your wallet, and there will be no 1099 that'll be issued for 2022. So I just wanted to mention that.
That's a long time to leave it, but hey, the opportunity is as we start really gaining some acceleration on the travel program, you could be earning not HNT, but you could be earning essentially US dollars or USDT, which is the cryptocurrency equivalent of a US dollar. And you can spend that all you want and hold on to your HNT if that's what you're inclined to do. So right. Anyway, but just to go back to that one thing, so when you look into your commission back office, you'll see that you've got a travel, and your commissions is for your HNT, your Helium. But if you go to the travel product, you'll see that you have travel commissions. You got a travel e-wallet, just like you have an the e-wallet for your Helium. In this one, though, instead of putting an HNT wallet, here's where you're going to put your CoinZoom handle. And if we go back to that training, you'll see how to add your CoinZoom handle to your iHub commission back office.
A lot of people have asked about that this week, Michael. I mean, because
and these are new trainings that have just gone up. So, right. So this is where you want to go to do that. And again, how we got here is we just went to CoinZoom training, and then we got these 4 separate sub trainings that are under that. So that's a good thing. Then the other one,
guys, it's just learning to be a good guide, because when somebody says, "Oh, how do I do that?" you go, we don't want you to tell them. We want you to show them. We want you to say, "Okay, well, here's where you go. You can watch that training," because this is how the whole process of duplication takes place. You're never going to grow a gigantic organization if you're going to try to do everything yourself. That's why we have systems, right? Systems are far better than all of us trying to do it ourselves.
Yeah, when you try and do it yourself, you get tired, and and it's counterproductive, because you want to teach people how to teach other people, and that's how it really gets massive momentum. But if everybody's waiting for you to help everybody for every question, you just can't do it at the speed that it needs to happen because people want instant information. And the best way to do that is just to know where to go to get it.
Michael, let me just interrupt you. He said, there's a question that just came in. If I earn Helium, will I have to pay taxes to the US if I'm a Canadian? No.
No.
So
I'm not saying, no, you don't have to pay taxes to the US. You'll have to deal with, the Canadian government as you normally will.
Right.
But that's really, that's really between you and them. I don't think we do reporting to other countries.
We don't issue a 1099 for Canadian citizens. So it's really up to you, nor do we issue 1099s for anybody else in the world other than the US. So it's up to you to report it like any good full-blooded Canadian.
But you can rest assured that every cryptocurrency exchange, that keeps ample records on that, and they definitely keep the government,
especially with Trudeau.
Oh yeah, you can bet on that.
Got about him, right? Yeah.
All right, well, let's just go back to the dashboard again. So starting from scratch, if you're brand new, there's a couple of things that's really important to do. One is you want to be able to reach out to other people and have them get involved with you in IHub.global. And the easy way to do that is if you come here on there's like, you'll see 4 columns in the dashboard. And then on the left side is the menu. This is on a computer. It's going to look different on a phone. But on this far left column, right here where it says my affiliate link, you're going to want to go ahead and copy and paste this link and send this to the people. If I'm reaching out to Chuck, I say, hey, Chuck, let me send you this link. Would you rather get it by text or by email? And that will give him the ability to click on that link, to go to a landing page that will show a few of the key videos to give him some information and to allow him to sign up. And as he signs up, he would then become an affiliate directly connected to me in that process. So this is an important thing. So this is where you go to get that. There's other places you can see it as well, but this makes it really easy. The other thing is the next thing you want to do, if you haven't done it already, is you want to order your hotspot. And if you click on that, it'll take you into the 2 choices, the lease or the deposit option. You pick one of those. You don't have to be, hard and fast on any particular one, because you're going to have the ability to change it all along through the process. As you go through these 5 different steps, you can start off with a lease option, change it to deposit, change it back to the lease option, and up until really the very end where we send out the voucher for the antennas, or we actually ship the units. You can change it even up to that point, going back and forth, and then it's going to walk you through these 5 different conditions. And as you do that, let me just go back to the dashboard. If you start on the first or the second one, and you get distracted or you have to come back to it, you'll always be able to go to this box right here where it's hotspot deployment status. Now here it says get started because I haven't started in this test account, but it would be returned to that process, and you can just pick up where you left off, and you can go backwards, forwards. It's really, really simple. And you've got the ability to decide, I'm going to cancel, even after you pay your $99 application fee. You always have the ability to cancel and get that refunded automatically. So it's so easy. There's nothing that you have to be stressed about, like, well, I'm not ready to start this process. You can start it and play with it as well all the way you want it until you get to the far end. You can decide just to, delete it, that it was just a learning experience, if that's all you want to do. So as with everything in the back office, there's really nothing you can do that can't be fixed. Or you're not going to break anything, so you don't have to worry about being gingerly walking on eggshells back here. Then you've got this hotspot manager. Those of you that are getting hotspots, you want to go through these hotspot trainings that we got, setting up your hotspot. For instance, if you click on that, it'll take you to a training, and you can see right here, the link stop, which is what a lot of people are getting right now. You can set it up. That'll just teach you how to set it up with an Ethernet connection. And any one of these, if you want to set it up with Wi-Fi, then you just click on this, and it's a similar process for all the different manufacturers. So all the information is here to be able to do all that, and access it, learning about antennas and this sort of thing. And so it's a simple process. And then let's just go back to the dashboard. And then when it comes to travel, there's a whole section for travel where you've got learning about travel, signing up on iHub Travel, your travel dashboard, travel training. When you click that, I'm going here just to see whether or not, no, we still haven't. We got 2 weeks ago, we did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, really focusing on travel. That's what these day 1, 2, 3, and 4 are. But Eric's also working on doing a compilation of all 4 of those and editing it down to 35, 40 minutes of, the key points from all 4 of those days into one.
Yeah,
and
Michael, the key component, I mean, if you really want to learn what if iHub Travel is all about, go to day 4.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Go to day 4,
yeah.
because the person at Arivia who's tasked to do all the training for the US, Joe Iglesias, he was on day 4, and he went over all the salient features of iHub Travel, all the benefits and everything. And there is a ton of stuff there. So, and that's nice. You can go in, you can pause it, go back and review it again if you wanted to make sure you learn.
And there's something, go ahead and click on day 4 for a second, bring up that video and start Eric off, and then move it to the, let Eric start talking. And so that keys up.
Guys, we're gonna get
and
started.
Bring it to minute 28.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I got to share audio. Let me do that again. Okay, I'm sorry. Where would you want me to start it?
Yeah, go ahead and bring it up to minute 28. So you're at 14, bring it up to.
And what it can do. They say that.
Yeah.
Plus credits. Right.
Right there. Right anywhere right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Prove your experience. You can save money, and of course, you always get plus credits. Right. You all said it. I know you did. I can hear it from here in Las Vegas. So the question now is, how can we do this? How in the world can we do something that Expedia can't do, that Priceline can't do, that Get a Room can't do? None of them can do it, but iHub Travel can do it. Well, it's called rate parity. Now, rate parity is where the public sites have to follow the rules and their prices are all the same. Well, what do I mean? See in the middle there, it says channel manager. The channel managers, there's about 5 or 6 of them in the world. They control 100% of the inventory that's out there. The channel managers then give contracts to Expedia, Amadeus, Kayak, all of them. All of them get contracts. But they give them a hotel room and they tell them, this hotel room will cost you $100. You cannot rent it for less than $200. If you rent it for less than $200, we're going to pull your inventory and take it away. You'll never get it back. Whoa, when they're not going to do that, so they stay within parity. And as you can see here, all the prices are the same. If you've not gone to Expedia, Travelocity, Priceline, you do it, and you'll see all the prices are the same. Plus, if you look at the bottom left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see an acronym that says ex-hottie. Now, ex-hottie is not anything to do with your girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend, all right? It's Expedia. owns hotel.com, hotwire.com, orbit.com, travago.com, tripadvisor.com, ebooking.com. So they own so many of them, the pricing's the same. They all own them the same, all right? So, but there's an easier way to explain this. Open and closed. Hey, John and Mary is sitting in front of a computer just like anybody else. You're surfing, looking at booking your travel, and it's an open network. Anybody can go into an open network and get the same pricing as you. What I'm offering you today is a closed network. What do I mean? You can't come in because it's closed. It's by invitation only. Invitation from someone in IHub that tells you, come on in, you can be a member in our private membership, and you will be able to get the rates that we showed, and plus credits. Cool, huh? And this is right here. This is a great example. This is one night, fight night, Las Vegas, all right? 9:30 in the morning, I pulled up the hotels, fight night. Check it out. $1,300 Expedia, Travelocity, hotels.com, $1,100, $1,000 for one night in Vegas. Guys, it is time to raise the price. It's parity. So everybody goes up, except IHub Travel, $259, $253, $323, and guess what else? Plus credits. Yeah, I love those credits. And how about this, folks? Currently, it's you, and you're going to those .coms, and you're booking that hotel room. Well, what we're going to do for you, once you become a member, is we're going to eliminate the .coms, and we're going to send you straight, direct, getting the wholesale prices, plus 3% on your reservations. So, incredible program here. What? Yes. Plus credits. All right.
You can kill it right there. You know, that's one of the things, guys, that rate parity was not in my vocabulary up until 2 years ago. A good friend of mine was the vice president of one of the companies that merged to create our travel partner, Arivia. And he gave me a membership. Right. And he says, here, use this. And I was more than skeptical. I mean, I have seen every travel program, certificate, blackout dates, restrictions, you name it, seen them all, been there, done that. And when David gave me that, I said, okay, well, you know, I didn't put any. He said, you're going to have the best rates ever. Well, I've heard that whole story before. And then I started doing my due diligence, right? I started doing comparisons. My go-to search engine, booking engine, was always Expedia. I've used a few others from time to time, and you probably have your favorite also. It's whoever is spending the most for advertising. That's where most of us go. And so I went to Expedia, and I would look at hotel, and I would go to our platform, look at the hotel, same date, same room, blah, blah, blah. And not only did we beat them by a little, we beat them by a mile. And that happened over. Now, the first couple of times I said, well, that's just a coincidence, you know. And then after I got to the 20th and the 30th and the 40th and the 50th one, I said, you know what, there's kind of a pattern here. So I went back to David and I said, why is it? And he said, oh, you don't know anything about rate parity. And I said, no, I don't know anything about that. And he said, well, that's because all of the hotels have all got to, charge the same price. All of the booking engines, all the public booking engines have all got to charge the same price. And I said, really? And I see that was just not in my wheelhouse, right? And but it started to make a lot of sense. And then I started comparing, Expedia with the hotel website itself, and they were identical, right? So you might be thinking you're getting a good deal by going to Priceline or this one or that one or Kayak or, But it's all the same. And, you know, until you get onto a system like ours, now I know we've got the best rate. I mean, I could go into and I mean, if I were betting and a drinking man, I could go into a bar and make an awful lot of money just betting that I would get the lowest rate and, you know, challenge, you know, people with that challenge over and over and over again. And I'd win. I'd win.
So Chuck, I mean, that was really a great piece. I've seen that a few times, but now I really get it. I mean, he's saying that the wholesalers, the one in the center, that set the numbers. It's like if you've got a room that the wholesale cost is $100, but the public price has to be showing minimally at $200. That means there's $100 spread that these people in between get to keep. Well,
Yeah.
and what he's saying with our membership, it's wholesale plus 3%, which means that the company is keeping 3% for doing it. Now, and so we basically get 97% of whatever the margin is based on the difference between wholesale and retail. But here's the thing. This engine that we're using is used by a bunch of other companies out there, and they have various different percentages that they give people out of that 97%. They may keep 50% and pay out 50% to the people, or they may have 4 or 5 different tiers where it's 10% and 25% and 35 and or something like that, where we're basically passing it all out, you know, the whole thing. We're not holding anything back. And that's why this is such an incredible deal that people were able to get. And that's why you would do so well, you know, making that offer in a bar, Chuck, you know, and saying, hey, I can beat anybody's price, you know?
Right. Yeah. So just rest assured, you know, you're going to have to do your own due diligence. You're going to have to convince yourself. But, you know, I would go to I would pick out you know, a property and wherever it happens to be globally, you know, or right around the corner. I mean, it can be Chicago or Houston or Atlanta or whatever, and pick out a date. And, you know, one of the things that, of course, the Expedias of the world and everything don't show you are the fees and the taxes on the front end. You have to wait until you get to right before you put in your credit card before they show you the whole enchilada, if you will, right? They don't show you that stuff on the front end, right? They're trying to be competitive. And so they save that to the very end.
Yeah, where you go in and then you go, oh, and this does not include, you know, a 15% tax, right, and you know, this fee and that fee, where in ours, where all the taxes are included. Now, I don't know whether it includes the resort fees. I don't think it does. But on the other ones, they have the taxes and the resort fees.
That's totally negotiable, Michael. You know, some resorts that I've stayed at, I've had to pay them. Other resorts I've stayed at, I didn't have to pay them.
So you mean you negotiated it at the check-in, or it's just
no,
negotiated with the Revia and the hotel?
Revia negotiated with the hotel.
Yeah. That's right. I mean,
yeah.
So I mean, but that's the beauty. I mean, they, you know, when you go to those other sites, they give you the number in the front. That's, if they don't include the taxes, that's really the differentiation between one or the other, is what they reveal in the front before you actually go in and try and book a reservation and see what the reality is.
So you guys are going to love it. Once I started using it, I mean, I would never book anything without going. I mean, it's my own personal, you know, site, right? And so I know I'm getting the best deal, and you know, I still go check it from time to time, just you know, because I'm cheap. But you know, I just you know, and it's not about being that. I mean, you know, it's bragging rights, right? I mean, everybody likes to have the best deal, and you know, it's like that commercial. You see the two guys checking into the same room, the same amenities and the same wives, you know, but a different rate, right? How could that be? Well, happens all the time, right? You know, go check it out for yourself. Go to your favorite booking engine and go check it out. And you know, join iHub Travel. I mean, it's night. Look, I don't know. Is the customer site up yet, Michael? Is the 1999?
I believe the customer site is up. Yeah.
Is it up?
I
Okay.
mean, we could check. Let's
Yeah.
let's
So
go ahead and- let's go
so
ahead
it's
and do that.
$19.99 a month. I just looked at. I did a little search the other day. May the 7th through the 14th in Las Vegas at the West Shore, and Expedia's price with tax and everything was $1,900. Our price for the week was $1,058. So we beat them by right at $1,000. Yeah, so it's live. Can you click on that or no?
Well, it doesn't look like you can click on the customer plan yet.
Not yet.
Um,
I think
Yeah,
that's
I know
probably
that. I
gonna
know
go-
they were working on it. Probably by Thursday. There's a couple of specific features that they wanted to have. You know, these guest passes coming soon. That's a big feature. It kind of has to be done within our back office. The boomerang is another huge feature that'll have to be within our back office. So that's all coming soon. So it'll all be done. They're just you know, working away, getting the programming done to be able to do it. So,
Right. Yeah.
and the one thing that's really cool, Chuck, you know, I mean, you heard that Joe kept talking about credits. The thing is that there's a lot of ways that you earn credits. You earn credits on your own travel. You earn credits on your other family members using your account, because you've got the family members that can use your account. And then the guest passes, a guest pass you give to somebody, they get to get the entire discount that you would get, but you get to keep all the travel credits from what they're able to do. And then the boomerang feature is you can send out an unlimited number of invites to people to use your system, but with the boomerang feature, and whatever the discount is that you would normally be getting, they get half of that discount and you get the other half in the form of these travel credits. So there's all kinds of ways that you can start accumulating these credits, but you can spend those credits on any of the travel. You can put them towards airline tickets, basically anything that you can do in the system, you can do with the travel credit. So it's like frequent flyer miles that you get from the airlines.
You know, there's a question here, Michael, about someone had gone to a landing page, our iHub travel landing page, and they signed up, and it put that person front line. So I said that we would talk about the holding tank and all of those things. You want to just briefly talk about that?
Yeah, let me get and share my screen real quick, and we'll talk about that. Now, what Chuck's referring to is that in the iHub travel program, then you've got separate coded teams than you do for the hotspots. So we've been talking about when we were showing the bronze, silver, and gold for your hotspots, but at the same time, you're going to be creating new bronze, silver, and gold teams for travel, because with travel, you're talking a much smaller ease of entry than somebody getting a hotspot to activate a position in the hotspot code. So we can't mix them. That's why they had to be two separate ones. And so as you start bringing people in front line that get their travel and get activated in the system, those people are going to go into a holding tank. And the way it works is you take our period runs between Saturday, between early Sunday morning and late Saturday night. And so at the end of that period, we tack on another week because we put everything 1 week in arrears before we pay the travel commissions. And so you basically got anywhere from 7 to 13 days or so that you can choose people in your holding tank to, well, okay, I've got 2 or 3 people in the holding tank. I'm going to put this person in first, this person in second, this person in third. And that happens for every time the holding tank gets filled. If you don't change it at the end of that 13 days or 7 days or whatever it is, it's if somebody comes in on Saturday, for instance, then they're going to get till Saturday night plus the next week. But if they were to come in on Sunday, then they would have the rest of that commission period between Sunday and Saturday night plus the next week. That's why it goes from like 7 to 13 days. But every time it gets to the end of that 7 or 13 day period, whoever you haven't placed in your holding tank will get placed automatically. And then you start again the following week. So you're constantly going to do that. And so you can determine who you want to have on your pro team and who you want to have on your bronze team relative to travel. And this is a huge boon because we wish we would have really had something like that in place with the hotspots. It really makes it really clean. That's why we were so excited that we were able to put this in place.
Absolutely. Hey, Michael, would you go and pull up, there's been some questions about the incentives, the travel incentives, and then we'll go, well, yeah, it's already 10 o'clock. Go to IHub.global. HUB, IHubTravelSavings.com. There you go. No,
Learn to spell.
Spelled wrong. Right. There you go. Okay, guys. So this is the site. So what we're doing is we're going to help you build your, and that's the one of the primary reasons. I mean, there were a lot of reasons for this product. Number one reason was to give everybody another income stream, right? Another income stream. And that'll turn out to be a quite profitable income stream as we roll this out, because the landing pages are already there. There's going to be more built, but we're going to also help you build your iHub Global business, your hotspot business, right? So we're going to incentivize those people that lease or that put a deposit or a lease a $250 travel savings dollar. And it's one of, and it really is it's $250, right? And there's no other way to cut it. Now, obviously, let me just point out that if you're going to stay one night at a Holiday Inn, you're not going to use all 250 of that, right? You're going to use a small portion of it. You might only be able to save $10 using it. If you use it at a more expensive property for a longer period of time, you use the 250 easily.
Yeah. So just to make it clear,
yeah.
Let's just say for a second, and then we can go back to that Holiday Inn, but let's say that the public price for the Holiday Inn is $200 and the price for in our engine is $150. So that's a $50 saving. So the way it works with that voucher, the voucher's got a code in it. You come to this site, you put in the code, you activate it, you actually get an account set up where you can go in and search for those savings. And so if it happened to be that you were saving that $50 at that Holiday Inn, if that's what it was, or $30 or whatever it is, then that's the savings you would get for that particular reservation. And if it was $50, that means, and it was a $250 voucher, it means you still have $200 left to use for additional travels that you do after that. It's not like if you use it one time and you don't use it all, then you lose what's the difference. You get to use it up.
And so we're incentivizing somebody $250 to do the lease or do the deposit. And then we're going to incentivize them another 250 to get their hotspot deployed and online, right? And I don't know that we've fixed any hard and fast number to that 250 right now, but I've heard everything, bounced around from 7 to 14 days and even less. So we want somebody to take it seriously because it's a serious. I mean, somebody puts in $18 and then we're going to give them $500 in travel savings just to go ahead and make that $18 purchase and then get that hotspot online. It's pretty significant. So that's and you're going to hear more about this site and all of those things here coming up here very shortly. So are the vouchers good for RV campgrounds? I don't know. I'm not an RVer, and I haven't really looked at my site. I don't think that I've ever seen anything like that, but
I can't say that I have either.
Yeah, but not to say that it might not be there, but it could be there under activities or under other things that I'm just not looking for. But great question. So, hey guys, so tomorrow night training on hotspot and everything having to do with the mass deployment, the version 2 models that we've got going out that don't need to be validated, right? They've already been validated and they already have addresses tied to them. And then on Thursday, by all means, you don't want to miss that because there's going to be all kinds of new announcements for Canada, for Europe, and a lot of new announcements. Yes, you can use, now there's no deals on flights, but you can use your credits, right? You heard Joe talk about credits. You can use your credits toward flights, right? So,
there's not like great deals on flights, but I was doing a search for somebody earlier today. Now they were over in Europe, but it saved them about 20 or 30 pounds on the price of the ticket compared to doing it like on a booking engine or something. So there was savings. I haven't had a chance to try it in the US, but I suspect it's probably similar. It's not huge savings, but $20, $30 when you're booking a flight, that's going a long ways to increasing the value of your membership on top of the hotel and on top of any rental cars.
Yeah, and it's just convenience, right? And but you definitely, get your membership, go look around, and there's guest passes like Michael was talking about. Those are fabulous. The whole boomerang thing hopefully will be launched on Thursday. That's fantastic. So with that, Michael, let's call it an evening. What do you say?
Sounds like a good one. Yep.
Hey guys, hopefully we got around to getting everything done. I see there's one question from Dr. K. Let's Dr. K, go ahead and unmute yourself. Go ahead. You should be able to do it now.
Thank you. All right. Great presentation. Awesome. Guys, Michael and Chuck are extremely correct. Please follow them. I've been following them for 30 years. I mean, you cannot have a better mentors than them. Just don't question them. 100%. I'm a doctor by profession for 43 years. I'm also a travel agent certified. I own my own travel company for 38 years. So I know about travel 100% for 38 years. I'm also a VIP leader with IHub. And there's no question IHub The money, the production is incredible. Nothing can beat that. But why do we need the travel? The travel is an incentive and a bonus for many groups, fundraising, churches, nonprofit, and you give it to your customers. But like the boomerang, what Michael was saying is very important. Don't just send, do bear dogging. You know what's bear dogging. So when you send a bonus or a voucher to somebody who's not in IHub, by the way, this is my link in case you want to know about our IHub. It's a giveaway. So what do we need from travel? We need more customers to satisfy the Attorney General. We need more customers and leads for us, because 35 times 35 times 35, 3 levels, guys, is 42,000 members. That's a lot to take, and you can gift it to your new members, because my goal, I create 35, 35, 35 for each person in my front line, 3 levels down, and you do the math. So we need travel to help incentivize all those people and use the tool. This is an incredible tool. Travel, everybody loves to travel. And the nice thing with our partner, you don't have to do any research. Don't even bother looking around. It's tiring. Believe me, just like real estate, looking for a house. So just trust. This is the best company I have ever seen in 38 years. I know the industry very well. And you guys, you don't know how lucky we are. We are partners with those people. Just blindly go and enjoy life, enjoy the money you're gonna create with IHub. Thank you for allowing me to talk, Chuck.
Real good. Thanks, Dr. K. So, hey guys, so tomorrow night, same time, same place, right here at 9 p.m. East Coast time. And then we'll do our best to explain things and answer some more questions. And then on Thursday night, a lot of rollouts that'll happen. So with that, Michael, thank you very much for all the things that you do. Couldn't have done it without you. And with that, guys, we'll just open it up, and so that everybody can unmute themselves. And or did I unmute everybody? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
Good night, you all.
And you can say good night.
Good night,
Good night,
Chuck,
everybody.
Michael, and
Good
Dr.
night,
Gary,
Thanks, guys.
Carol,
Night, everybody.
and Mary Kay and Sean
everybody.
back there.
Good night.
Good night.
Night
Good
all.
night. Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Okay, see you guys.
Good night.
Everybody.
Clumsy rabbit.
See you, buddy.